First Champions League, and he gets it. Just minutes after coming on.
Hello family, what's up? I'm back in your faces again. Well, Premier League is over, and I can see a lot of panics, breakdowns, meltdowns in the Chelsea camps. But first thing first, congratulations to all Manchester United fans. You deserve your happiness. You worked hard for it and you got it. That's what matters. And hopefully, maybe this could keep Erik ten Hag's job for the foreseeable future. He's not a bad coach. It's just that the squad he's coaching is not his kind of squad. So, well, it is what it is, you know. So if you guys decide to sack him, great and good. There is Thomas Frank, there is Pochettino, there is, what's his name now? McKenna, Kieran McKenna, which I personally call Ikena. And you also have, what's his name now? What's his name? Is it Tuchel? Yeah, Tuchel, Pochettino, McKenna, Thomas Frank. But actually, for this kind of squad, no jokes, Thomas Frank will be a very strong, solid fit for this Manchester United team. So Manchester United fans might want to chop my head off. It's understandable. But come on, McTominay, Casemiro. Apart from Bruno Fernandes, who is technically solid, I don't see anybody in that Manchester United team that can actually be able to be that Diogo de position kind of player who can, you know, help positionally, who are actually comfortable on the ball. So I see a lot of mismatch between Erik ten Hag and Manchester United. The truth is, the sporting directors over the years have made a mess in how they profile the kind of players needed for an Erik ten Hag kind of coach. And congrats to him, kudos to him to be able to even scale through all the hurdles of managing a team that is not suited to your profile and still churning out results. So no matter how much you hate Erik ten Hag, he has done a solid job. It's just like Pochettino in Chelsea. It was a mismatch. Pochettino would suit very well with a Manchester United team. And this is not coming from a point of banter or bias. It's just the profile. You have lots of road runners, Rashford, Mount, Garnacho, Anthony. These are players that under a Pochettino, they look like prime Ronaldo and prime Rooney. So let's call a spade. Manchester United needs to get better players that is suitable to Erik ten Hag, or else there's a situation where it will continue and it will be the same story over and over and over again. So it's either you sack him and get a coach that is suitable for the team, get a coach that is suitable to this present Manchester United team, or sell all these firewoods that you people have gathered over the years and start getting players suited for the kind of coach you recruit. Same thing with Chelsea. I mean, I see a lot of panic by Chelsea fans, you know. First thing first, I hope you guys are happy, especially the Poche sexuals. I hope you guys are happy because Pochettino has given us his parting gift, the Conference League. Hope you guys are happy because the only excuse everybody's giving is that Pochettino did not get his kind of squad. Of course, he shouldn't be getting his kind of squad because he has not proven that he needed that kind of support. Number one. Number two, he lied to the board that he's capable and suited to this squad that Chelsea has presently, believing that when he gets into the club, he will be able to influence the board and influence the owners to buy his own kind of players. That was smart from Pochettino. He got in, tried to make the players that the club recruited look useless, and convince the board that, okay, these players that you bought are actually not good enough, so get me my own brand of players that will give me my kind of football that will definitely suit my style of play. That was what happened between Chelsea versus Arsenal. Put up a lot of players that did not play the semi-finals against Manchester United, so that when they lose and lose woefully, he will say, I told you that this team will not excel that far. Just give me my players. Players like what's this guy's name now? Players like Conor Gallagher mode. You understand those kind of players? And the guy in PSG now that Chelsea wanted to buy, and Chelsea wanted to buy, and PSG later, got him from the Portuguese league. Those are the kind of players that Pochettino wants. The Wayamas of this world, the Dembeles of this world, the kind of midfielder that they go with iron benders and leg breakers, and they are very powerful, pacey, and all that kind of football. That is actually Pochettino's kind of football, and would have been a blessing for Manchester United if Manchester United had got him probably 2 or 3 seasons ago instead of Erik ten Hag. But of course, Chelsea sporting directors, being clueless, went for a coach that was not suited for the team. And a mismatch will always be a mismatch, whether you want to accept it or not. It's like trying to put 2 careers in different situations. It's like a mechanic trying to do the job of a surgeon, and a surgeon trying to do the work of a mechanic. Of course, you are going to get yourself in trouble. Imagine a Chelsea fan, saying he wants a mechanic to come and work where a lot of technicians abound. I mean, players like Enzo Fernandez, players like Casado, players like Palmer, players like Nkunku, players like even Jackson, Madueke, players like Santos, players like Casaide. These are technically sound footballers who, with a good coach who understands possession football, will get the best out of them. They are not road runners. It is these players like Mason Mount, Rashford, give it to me. Those are the kind of players that Chelsea are looking for, not the kind of players that you guys are scrapping for. I mean, those are the kind of players that Pochettino, can work with, not these players that we have. And I see a lot of fans crying about the kind of coaches we got. The reality is that the Chelsea board, the Chelsea ownership wants the sporting directors to be the alpha and omega of the decision making in the club, not the coaches. And I think they came out and made it absolutely clear. They appoint you as a coach. You are not coming in as a coach as a manager. You are coming in as a head coach. So if they are appointing you as a head coach, not as a manager. That is why people like Jose Mourinho will never ever be in these people's agenda. People like Tuchel, people like Flick, all these big names that we are all familiar with are not going to be around the Cobham, nor even the circumference of the Chelsea board. Why? Because these coaches will demand for their kind of players, and that is not the kind of coach that these present owners and board are looking for. A proper corporate environment where everything works from the hierarchy at the top down to the head coach. Underline the word head coach, not manager. So that being said, the kind of coaches that we are looking for, they are looking for a coach that is possession based, that can dominate play, and is willing to work with the present structure of the team. These are all pointing onto a Juego de position kind of coaches who are possession based, the La Masia kind of coaches who they're obsessed about possession. And of course, people like Enzo Casado will excel under such coaches because their qualities will definitely be refined under those coaches, and you're going to see the best of them. Under Pochettino, it was obvious that Enzo would not excel because the expectation is for Enzo to run and run and run and run and run and run and run. And of course, for a player like Enzo, he will definitely struggle under those kind of coaches because he does not have the legs for pace. He is more or less a deep line playmaker like the Cruz of this world, the Toni Kroos of this world. Enzo is our Toni Kroos. He's the one that dictates play. He's a playmaker. He's like the Michael Carricks of this world. Their job is just to dictate play. That is their work. So when I see certain fans, obviously you will know that most Chelsea fan base are making their own understanding, not based on knowledge, but based on emotions. You see somebody like Michael Carrick dictating play during his heydays at Manchester United, Busquets of Barcelona, Xavi, Andre Pello. These are maestros when it comes to deep line playmakers, and their job is just to dictate play. They decide where the possession of the ball goes to, whether to the left side of the pitch or the right side of the pitch. And you see how he quickly switches from the left to the right. He changes positional play from the left to the right very quick, very easy. And under a De Zerbi or an Enzo Maresca, he will definitely excel. And now, the funniest part is that most Chelsea fans are putting the word championship as a criteria why we shouldn't employ those coaches. The reality is we are not looking for a coach that has a championship or a Bundesliga, or because I mean, if these coaches in questions were coming from the Bundesliga, or coming from the Serie A, or coming from the Ligue 1, I don't think most Chelsea fans will have an issue with it. But because it's coming from places like probably Championship, 16th, 17th in the league, we are screaming foul. The reality is football has gone past the idea of having trophies, because if you look at it now, most big clubs now are now leaving that idea of going for coaches with trophy tropes. People like Tuchel, Nagelsmann and the likes. Clubs are quietly walking away from them. Why? Because they are highly demanding. They are coming to your club, they are demanding the set of players that they want to come to the club that they want to use. I mean, the players they want are the players that will fit into their style, their philosophy. In this era now, it's like big clubs are shifting away from those kind of coaches to coaches who suits their philosophy, their agenda, and their structure. So as it stands now, the kind of players Chelsea have, of course, is ripe for a Juego de position coach, where it's 100% possession dominance. And that is exactly what this squad needs, not some, in quotes, hotshot big coaches that most Chelsea fans are screaming about. Oh, I want Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho comes to Chelsea, the reality is half of your squad would be sold. Half of your squad would be sold. Jose Mourinho believes in physicality, pace, and power, similar to Pochettino. Thomas Frank. He also is a coach that works with pace and power. pace and power in the sense that they like players that has the strength to be able to mark, has the strength to body players, has the strength to be able to press, and has the strength to be able to run. So these are the kind of coaches that Chelsea is avoiding quietly and going for coaches that are technically capable and technically sound. So I hope that the directors doesn't listen to the fans, because it clearly shows that the fans don't even know what they want. There's even some fans that are shouting Thomas Frank because he's an English coach, because he is a Brentford coach. Funny takes. Some are saying, oh, we should go for Jose Mourinho. Of course, it's easy to always pick Jose Mourinho because of trophies, but the reality is, does he suit the squad you have? No. Are the owners ready to spend another 1 billion to get Jose Mourinho the kind of players he demands? No. So why go for a coach that will give you extra headache in getting the kind of players that are definitely the exact alternative to what the club has invested in the past 2 years? So come on, you guys should pipe low. Any coach you get, whether it is Enzo Maresca or De Zerbi, deserves to be in this team, deserves to manage this team. Why? Because they understand possession football and they are suited to the kind of quality we have. Some people are saying, oh, Enzo Maresca coached a championship team. Arteta came as an assistant coach from Manchester City. Some will say, oh, De Zerbi lost a lot of points this season and took Brighton down to 11th. The reality is, De Zerbi was in a club that sells their players. It's more or less a mini academy for other clubs in England and around the world. So I don't know why people were even expecting much from a De Zerbi, because of course it is understandable why De Zerbi struggled this season after selling most of his key players who help his philosophy to thrive. And those kind of coaches, they need heavy investment to be able to succeed. A Pep Guardiola going to a Brighton will definitely look like a mid coach immediately, because he would struggle with the kind of quality that De Zerbi had to deal with this season. Am I making a case for De Zerbi? Absolutely not. Failure is not good, but at the same time, we have to also look at the pros and cons that leads to a coach's success or a coach's failure. And a coach is as good as the quality of the players he has at his disposal. So as a coach, as players, there has to be a kind of equilibrium between both parties. You can't just have one and the other is down, the quality is down. I mean, it's like having to go for something of substandard when you can go for something of quality. And the reality is that Brighton is not an ambitious club compared to Chelsea. Coming to Chelsea, I see De Zerbi excelling. Coming to Chelsea, I see Enzo Maresca excelling. Not because they are elite coaches, quote me right, but because their philosophy is suitable to this present squad that Chelsea has gathered over the past 2 seasons. So I will tell Chelsea fans, calm down. Calm down. This is not the time to panic. This is the time to pray that we get it right managerial wise, so that when we are going into the new season, we are not going to have another wasted season coming through. And from my own opinion, I see De Zerbi taking this job. Let's be frank, De Zerbi would definitely take this job. Thomas Frank would definitely be a total it will be awkward. Sorry, I'm trying to look for the English. Sorry, it will be awkward for Thomas Frank to actually be the next coach of Chelsea, seeing that he is no different from those coaches who like to sit back. He's more or less the David Moyes of our era, who like to sit back, leave possession for the opponent team and try to hurt you on the counter attack. So, of course, we are definitely going to be going for a more progressive coach, as the owners have said, more dynamic coach, and a coach that has the mindset of a possession football. I don't know, but if you have any comments, anything to say, we can talk down below. I mean, we can agree to disagree. As for Arsenal fans, of course, I know you're happy. Pep Guardiola is leaving. Yay. Pep Guardiola is leaving. And I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans so happy. Yeah, of course, you should be happy because he has been the Thanos of this Premier League era. Total dominance. And I remember a lot of football fans saying that Pep Guardiola will definitely struggle in English Premier League. The reality is that most fans, they do not see things from a analytical lens. They see things from an emotional point of view. You know, oh, he did well in Barca because Barca had Messi. Oh, he did well in Bayern because Bayern is a dominant team in Bundesliga. Well, Chelsea were the top teams in England. Manchester United were the top teams in England. Liverpool were the top teams in England. Tottenham were the top teams in England. And Pep came to Manchester City, an unknown team. Of course, they won Premier League here and there, but they were not a dominant team. And when he came, and the structures that came with him, you must understand that Pep did not come alone. He came with structure. And those structures are the ones that has established the dominance that Manchester City are enjoying today. People like their sporting directors came from Barca, their recruitment, Barca, everything, even the president, Barca, everything is in alignment to Pep's philosophy, ideology, and his eye view of how he sees football. So, I mean, it's just obvious that he would succeed. And that shows that in the right environment, coaches like Enzo Maresca, coaches like De Zerbi would definitely excel because they have the right kind of environment that helps their football to flourish. Those kind of coaches will struggle in a club that does not have money for investment. That's just the reality. A Thomas Frank can succeed in any club. Why? Because he can use whatever he has and achieve what he wants to achieve based on if the players are all firewood. But in a club, in a team whereby they are all technical players, a Thomas Frank will struggle because that is not his kind of football. That is not his philosophy. That is not who he is. So I am telling Chelsea fans, get excited. We are going to have a treat next season. I am 100% very confident that the board will definitely get it right. They learned their bitter lesson last season that it is not just about employing an experienced English coach, but employing a coach that is suitable to the kind of squad that you have assembled. Anyways, like I said, put your comments down below. We'll talk more and I'll make more videos as time goes by. Ciao.
Cole Palmer looking for his first Champions League, and he gets it just minutes after coming on.